Okay, well, for some reason my battery just keeps on dying, and I don't know why, but I'm going to try and get through some of this. Hopefully I can get some more of this to the police as soon as possible. But anyways, we're back on July 15, 2019, at 8:27. I don't recall what part exactly I was up to at this point, but hold on, let me say something. Excuse me. I'm pretty sure we're going to get to the point. Oh, God. Sometimes this isn't the best way to do it, but it's the only way I can do it right now. Alright. Okay. Yeah, so I was starting to now get into the other neighbor who trespassed on my lawn onto the property right before the vandalism happened. Now, I'm going to explain a little bit before I get into actually showing this video, but I know them. Oh, that's right. I remember where I was now. I was explaining how I knew that these families know each other. Because the first time, well, not the first time, but pretty early on, meeting this neighbor a few years ago, this other neighbor now, her name is MCKLUSKY. She invited me in her home, and right away I think I had to use the bathroom or something, and right away I took notice to a bird that was in her house, which is a parakeet. Her name is Marilyn, the parakeet, and that was the STROZESKI family bird since I was a child. I'm pretty sure the bird was brought in for Jelaine, who is obsessed with Marilyn Monroe, and that's why the bird's name is Marilyn. So I took notice to this bird right away. So I knew right away that the families know each other. How they know each other, whatever, it doesn't matter, but that they knew each other. So this lady may have inside knowledge about me, so to speak. I don't know that for sure, but I can only assume. So I'm always a little guarded when I speak to this woman. She always just pops up at my residence or house or whatever you want to call it, property. Let's call it property. Whenever, especially, she hears other people on the property, like, doing work or whatever, and she's always trying to flirt with people on the property, and she's just a constant annoyance. So, long story short, the other thing is that this woman has made a lot of references about little boys and watching little children and sending me emails about playing with herself in the shower and just really awkward, uncomfortable, disturbing stuff that makes me not want to associate myself with this person. At first, when I met her, she was telling me about some issue with her, I guess, ex-husband or husband and soon-to-be ex-husband, but whatever. Like, I helped her set up surveillance videos and kind of walked her through that thing so she felt safer, and then I started to find out some disturbing things about her that made me feel really uncomfortable, and I really limit my association with her because of it, because it makes me rather uncomfortable. So here's another situation. That same day, right before the vandalism occurred, this woman shows up on my property, and the STROZESKI family came from the direction of her house and vandalized my camper. So whether or not she was at their house, the STROZESKI family was at Lisa McCluskey's house prior to the vandalism, I don't know, but that's one thing I have in my mind as far as a possibility. But this lady, Lisa McCluskey, shows up. Now this is at 8:27. The vandalism occurred at 8:50-ish. So this is her coming to the property. Now, when she showed up, she had a alcoholic beverage in hand. She was acting intoxicated or inebriated, and just started screaming, saying that another neighbor that lives next to her, there she is walking up, another neighbor had stolen wood or something off her property. I was rather confused as to why she was just walking and trespassing onto my property to tell me this. There's another camera of her walking up. So, you know, this is just all, like, really weird stuff. This is what I deal with, like, almost every day. Just people walking onto my property, screaming things, you know. It's just constant drama. Nobody can live in peace around here. It's just funny. I got arrested for breach of peace. But meanwhile, I'm just doing nothing but staying on my property, minding my business, and trying to fix up the property. And that's it. So, okay, here she is walking. She brings her dogs. There's a drink in her hand. I'm sure you can see that. She just walked right on. I did not call her and invite her over. Nothing. She just walks right in my yard. Like, she's got every right to be there. You know, starts butting in. Oh, what are you guys doing? You know, just like, intrusive. Asking a lot of questions. And, I'm literally there with somebody working on stuff. Like, we're racing against the clock for daylight, and this is what I deal with. And I'm trying to tell her, I'm busy, I don't have time for this right now, but she don't care. It's all about what she, wants to do. She just walks right on my property. And then, at first I didn't really, it was weird to me that she was doing this, but it's even more weirder that not even 20 minutes later or so, the STROZESKI'S come by and start wailing on my camper. So, I don't really have too many images of her in the yard, except for this portion here, because at that time I did not have surveillance in that portion of the yard. I do now. But, basically she's over here in the yard talking to me, screaming about some guy next that lives in between both of us, saying he stole her wood. Apparently, probably, I think one of the guys that may or may not have called the police today, because the Kathleen STROZESKI, was on my property, then on his property, and I was screaming at her to leave. Like I said, I really don't want to get into that. That's a whole nother situation, a whole nother case right now, but this is all the day of July 15, 2019, and this is her trespassing, inebriated on my property, screaming and wailing. There's her dog. That's the dog that, I think she's got 2 dogs, so that's one of the dogs that heard the noise when the STROZESKI family was wailing on my camper. She actually left one of her dogs behind that night. Lisa did. When she came over, she left, and one of the dogs stayed behind. I don't know. I like her dogs, so they apparently feel comfortable being here and being around me, so I didn't really mind about the dog, but that's fine. Okay, so you're going to see her kind of move into this camera again and start wailing her arms and screaming. She wasn't screaming at me per se, but she was just screaming about the neighbor stealing her wood. I don't understand why she came here about it. I'm not, a police officer or anything, so I don't know why she's coming here to tell me. I'm looking at her well, do you have it on surveillance? Did you call the police? Whoa, why are you here causing a commotion about this? But this is what I deal with all the time. All the time. This is nothing new. This is constant invasion of privacy, constant commotion. Now this is breach of peace, okay? She comes to my house causing a commotion. I don't want her there. I did not invite her there. I told her I was busy. I asked her to leave. I told her call the police if somebody stole something. And she refused to leave and then just kept asking questions about what we were doing. And the guy who was here helping me has already been forewarned about her type of behavior of trying to sleep with anybody. She tries to sleep with people she sees over here, or flirts with them, or distracts them from what they're doing, and so he was already made aware of her, so he wasn't paying her no mind. When she walked in the yard, I told him, just keep doing what you're doing, don't even talk to her. So, I know it's taking a while, but she was there for a while, so I'm just going to fast forward this a minute. Let's get her back in that camera. Okay, there she is. Okay, so I'm going to back up a little bit. So you can see, you'll see, I'll slow it down, I'll bring it back and slow it down so you can see her wailing her arms. Okay. Alright, so at that point I was like, Lisa, I'm really busy right now. So there she goes, going on and wailing her arms and screaming now across the yard, everything. And I'm like, okay, whatever. As you can see, she's got her drink in her hand. She was so drunk that day. So drunk. I was so worried she's going to fall on the property and then try and sue me or something. This is like the crazy stuff that they do. Okay, she's finally leaving. One of her dogs went with her. The other dog stayed behind. Now the way I got her out of there was I told her, I'll come to your house. And I never went because I was very busy. And that was the only way to get her out of here. I was like, alright, let's go to your house. Because she was trying to, I don't know, give me a plant or something. So, okay, so that's the whole scoop with Lisa. And then, like I said, that's at 8:34 p.m. on July 15, 2019. And not even 20 minutes later, the STROZESKI family came from the direction of her house and started wailing on my camper. So I have no reason but to believe that there's some sort of connection here. So this is as fast as it'll go, but I just want you to see that it's all the same day, the same footage, nothing was altered or anything like that. There's the dog, if you should just see him down there. That's the dog that got left behind when she left. And he just kind of hung out with us for a while. I gave him water. He looked thirsty. I smelled his breath to make sure his mommy didn't give him any alcohol. But he's a sweet dog. His name is Panda, Pandemonium. And her other dog's name is Millie. He's just hanging out in my yard. So, we're approaching the time now, so you're going to see the STROZESKI family walk from the direction of Lisa's house, down the road, vandalize the camper, the guy starts running, Skyla and Kathleen STROZESKI, walk away from the camper that way. And then I go check the camper. Alright, so I'm just going to back up a little so you kind of get the gist of it. I've already, in high detail, recorded all that footage. So this is just showing the Lisa situation and a possible, I don't know if I want to call it a conspiracy, so to speak, but, it just seems fishy. It definitely, there they are. Okay, there's them. Okay, just so you could see that it's just 20 minutes later. I mean, they do talk to each other. I know that for sure. Even like a few, actually, 4th of July, I was out in the yard spray painting. Lisa walked by, Kathy walked by. It's like very similar, like very soon after. And Lisa had actually asked me, oh, are you friends with Kathy? And I said, no. And I didn't say anything more. And I was just like, okay, I gotta go. Because Kathy was approaching my house again, and I didn't want to be outside with her. So, there they are walking up. There they are going towards the camper. He hits the camper, starts running, and it looks like he turned around and started swinging the branch or whatever. Okay, so that's that. Alright, at this point I'm going to turn over to the police. That's me going to check the camper. I don't know if you caught that. But you'll see me on that screen. Come pop up over there. I'm watching from the fence now. Okay. So at this point, I'm just going to start turning in the footage as I have it, because it takes me so long to get through this. And yeah, there I am. There I'm gone. There, so. Alright, so that's me going to check the camper. Alright, so, yeah, like I said, I'm just going to start turning surveillance video into the police as, you know, as I get through it, and, you know, so it's probably going to come in clips if and what else there is, but, yeah, this has been going on for years now at this point, you know. I've tried to get restraining orders, I've tried to call the police numerous times, and it just doesn't stop. It just doesn't stop. So, and again, this is all on property, you know, that I or my mother own, and, like, I have every right to be here and be here free from harassment, threats, and violence. I have every right to protect the property, myself and the things on it, and people on it, but I give permission to be on it. You know, this is me doing absolutely nothing, and them constantly coming to my house, my property, and causing problems. I do not invite these people here. If anything, I tell them don't come here. And this is what I have to deal with constantly. Constantly. Every day. This is a daily thing I deal with. Daily. My house is not open to the public. It's not on a public road. I do not invite people here freely. Very rarely. Actually, I'm scared to even have people here. I'm scared of these people chasing away people working on the property, friends, relationships, anybody. They have literally scared almost every single person off this property that's been here. So, you know, they're trying to scare me off the property too, which is even crazier. Thanks for watching. I am authorizing charges to be pressed on any of the individuals seen in this video footage, obviously besides myself. Actually, I would like charges to be pressed on these individuals. Lisa McCluskey for trespassing and breach of peace. That is breach of peace, coming to my residence and causing a commotion, and trespassing on the property to do so. Kathleen and Skylar STROZESKI for stalking. Skylar STROZESKI possibly was one of the people to strike the camper, so that would be vandalism on Skylar STROZESKI. And the unknown male, brown hair, approximately 160, maybe more, white male. Don't know for sure who it was, but in theory could quite possibly be Paul Zagleski, did fit the description, did resemble. However, I cannot 100% positively ID that person as Paul Zagleski. I did have a restraining order on Paul Zagleski. It more than likely has ended by now. Whether or not I need to reinstill that one, but I'm sure Kathleen and Skylar STROZESKI know who was at their house and walking these roads with them on July 15, 2019, and could very easily identify the person that was. Okay? So, I'm really getting sick of all of this harassment, threats, vandalism, trespassing, breach of peace, stalking, unwanted sexual advances. I mean, if you throw Paul into the situation, forcing himself on me sexually, you know, I'm just, this is just crazy. For somebody who does nothing but just goes to their own property, I don't really need this. So, alright.